chers apprenants, et bienvenue. Quel plaisir de se retrouver. What a pleasure to be together again. Ça va bien? J'espère très bien. Oui? Tous en forme? All ready? Well prepared? Well, I hope you still have the lovely song Joyeux anniversaire ringing in your ears, n'est-ce pas? C'est une chanson très jolie. It's a lovely song. Besides this, we did many more special occasions on how to wish our friends and family. We also did some ways to make short sentences and expressions. And I'm sure you would have learned many new French words also. Weekdays, months of the year, and seasons. You know them all well by now, I'm sure. In later lessons, we shall have some more of exciting ways to do the recap of it all. Like we did avoir in the last lecture, it was the first of the French verbs you did in this MOOC series, and you learned how to use it when telling how old you are. Last but not the least, the last lecture let you listen to one of the most loved songs for all of us here. Yes, la chanson Joyeux anniversaire, or the happy birthday song in French. Bon, aujourd'hui, that is today, in part 2 of Special Occasions and Greetings, nous allons continuer à parler des vœux et des jours des fêtes, a little more on festivals and how to wish and greet your dear ones. So here we go, part 1, words, terms and expressions, mots et expressions. We begin by wishing on festivals and celebrations. The first one here is Joyeux Noël et Bonne Année. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Or maybe because the two occasions are placed very close to each other, 25th December and the 1st of January, we often wish them together. Joyeux Noël et Bonne Année. Merry Christmas and New Year. Of course, if you're done with Christmas and you're meeting your friends in the New Year, one can also say just Bonne Année or Joyeuse Année. Just like Joyeux Anniversaire, you could even say Joyeuse Année. You could as well say Bonne et Heureuse Année, Happy and Joyous New Year. The third one, Meilleur souhait de Nouvel An. Meilleur souhait de Nouvel An. Best wishes for the New Year. Meilleur, that word is meilleur, best. Some more wishes. There's a mom special wish. Bonne fête, maman. Maman is how you call mom in French. Bonne fête, maman. This is celebrated sometime during end May. And that's how you say Happy Mother's Day in French. Bonne fête, maman. Bonne route. Route. Bonne route is used for happy traveling. You've already done bon voyage, but that is slightly before a longer travel, longer separation, a person going away very far or coming back after a long time. Bonne route is someone going on a shorter journey, coming back earlier, quicker than voyage. A voyage is a longer thing, so you say bon voyage, whereas a person going on a short travel, you would perhaps say bonne route. That's happy traveling. The next is, of course, something that I constantly say at the end of the lectures, félicitations. You might be reading it as felicitations, which actually is near similar to the word felicitations, congratulations. In French, we say félicitations, that's congratulations. Félicitations, and if it's big congratulations, so you say grande félicitation, grande félicitation. Then, Bonne Fête Nationale. That's the 14th July. That's the French Independence Day. 14th, 14. July is juillet. 14 juillet. So you say Bonne Fête Nationale. Joyeuse Pâques is Happy Easter. That word is Pâques. Pâques. Joyeuse Pâques or Bonne Pâques is used for Happy Easter. There again, I hope most of you would know that the French flag is the blue, white, and red stripes and vertical. And here, of course, it's just for aesthetics that we have, for the Eiffel Tower and written 14 juillet, le jour de la Bastille. That's kind of, wishing on the national day. The French flag, of course, is the blue, white, and red vertical stripes. That's the French flag. So this is just a way to let you know that's the national day, the Independence Day for France. Bonne fête nationale. That's le 14 juillet. Some more occasions. Joyeuse fête du travail. That's Happy Labor Day. You must be knowing well. That's the 1st of May. Joyeuse fête du travail. Travail means work. Chers amis, il est intéressant quand même de noter qu'il y a aussi, it's interesting for you to know that there exists also a joyeux Diwali or a joyeux Holi or maybe a joyeux Dasera. You can put a joyeux before the name of any festival, even an Indian festival, and wish. Isn't that exciting? The next time, even for Diwali, maybe you could say joyeux Diwali, joyous Diwali, joyous Holi, etc. Now, a very important part of greetings is how do you respond? How do you reply to greetings? There are numerous ways of wishing people, and here we might have just tackled some of the important ones. But the most common replies to this could be merci. We've done thank you earlier, merci, or mille merci, thanks a ton, merci bien, thanks so much, merci beaucoup, thank you very much, à vous aussi, to you too, and à vous de même, to you too. So these are various ways you could reply when a person is wishing you on a special occasion. Also, if someone says a bonne année, you could as well say bonne année à vous aussi. Instead of just saying à vous aussi, you could say bonne année à vous aussi. In fact, all these special occasions, you could say à vous aussi, except a bon anniversaire, unless you share a birthday with someone. Greetings are two ways. You reply to the one who's wishing you as well, Happy Diwali. The person on the other side also says a Happy Diwali. But when you say, oh, happy birthday, unless you both are sharing the same date, you cannot be saying à vous aussi. So bon anniversaire is something that's only one way. So that's something you keep in mind. The rest of them, of course, you can always say à vous aussi, à vous de même, bonne année, bonne année. Keep that in mind. After wishing on special occasions, here we come with some expressions for saying sorry. That's again another important thing of learning a foreign language. You should know how to say thank you, how to say sorry. These are basic courtesy protocols, manners that you must definitely be aware of. Excusez-moi, excuse me. That's not a very informal, neither a very formal. It's somewhere in between. You say excusez-moi, excuse me. For your convenience of pronunciation, I have also provided you the transliteration in Devanagari, excusez-moi. But for the ones who have problem in following the Devanagari script, my kind request to follow carefully, attentively my lectures and listen carefully. The next is pardon. Pardon. The word is just the same. The pronunciation, instead of don, pardon, that becomes don. You see there's a little bindi on top, pardon. That means it's the nasal sound. It's not pardon, it's pardon. That's a light and quick, light expression of saying sorry. Pardon. Suppose you're walking on the street and you bump into someone. That's not a grave mistake, but you still want to say sorry. So you say, pardon, monsieur, pardon, madame. That's a quick way of saying sorry. The third one is a heavier way. It's je suis désolé. Je suis désolé. I am so sorry. My apologies. That's when you really want to express regret about something. You want to say a sorry. It's an intense way of expressing regret. So you say, Monsieur, Madame, je suis désolé. Okay, je suis désolé. These are some common expressions you'd want to use while conversing in French to a French-speaking person. Small little words. D'accord. D'accord, meaning agreed. S'il vous plaît, again. Please. Pas du tout. Not at all. And the last is bien sûr, of course. Pas du tout. Not at all. And bien sûr, of course. Chers amis, although I'm insistent on the correct pronunciation, which is one of the basic things in a language course, I'm equally concerned about your written expression. And which is why I request all of you to pay attention to the slides, to the way signs are used, to the way spellings are used, because in French there are a lot of sounds which are not pronounced, but they are there in the written form. So when you get down to writing, I want you to be thorough with your spellings. And this is the time you begin to observe carefully, observe well, and hone your pronunciation as well as written expressions simultaneously. That does with part 1 of our mots et expressions, and we go on to part 2, grammaire. I start with another very important verb. We did avoir, you remember. Now today I'm going to do être, which means to be. To be. In English, as one says, I am, you are, she is, he is, they are. So this is kind of the same thing in French. I have tried putting here the conjugation with all the personal pronouns, je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle, plural. So je suis is I am, tu es, you are, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, and elles sont. Dear learners, I repeat once more. Please do not use the sound je or ze. This word is je, the same sound as one uses for the word measure or pleasure. Take note of that. Je suis, je, tu es. Those are two words, tu and a, but you don't say tu es. There's no break. You say tu es. You roll down the same note, tu es. Il est, elle est. Nous sommes, vous êtes. Ils sont, and elles sont. Simple usage. Je suis étudiant. I am a student. Nous sommes dans la classe. We are in the class. Il est journaliste. He is a journalist. Tu es intelligent. You are intelligent. So we have given you some short, simple phrases. You can yourself reconfigure the sentences using words of your choice, sentences you like, combination of different words. Try making sentences on your own. That is the way you become a stronger autonomous learner, and that's how I expect my learners to be. And I'm sure you'd all do a great job. After this, we have a list of very simple adjectives. I repeat what are adjectives in case someone's missed out on this. Adjectives are those words which qualify the noun or the pronoun. In Hindi, they are the Visheshan. Visheshan. Lamba, chota, uncha, nicha, badi, choti. These are all Visheshan. Similarly, big, small. These are words which qualify the noun. Now, why I extensively use Hindi examples is because French, just like Hindi, or there may be other regional languages which use the notion of masculine and feminine. Please note that English does not have this. A small girl is said the same way as a small boy. The word small being an adjective doesn't change while being used for a girl or a boy. But in French or Hindi, it would change. For example, petite fille, petit garçon, choti ladki, and chota ladka. So you see the mechanism is closer to the Hindi language vis-a-vis French rather than the English language. Why I'm telling you this is because you already are exposed to one language. To try comparing the two, it will come easier and faster. Grand, petit, big, tall, or small. Mince, gros, or gross. Please note those little brackets. They are for the feminine form. When you say gros or gross, gross, you add an extra S and E if you're using it for a feminine object. Noir and blanc or blanche, that's black and white. Comes intelligent, stupide. I'm sure you can guess here. Intéressant, pas intéressant. Interesting and not interesting. Haut, bas, that's high and low. Beau, belle, versus laid or led, that's beautiful, handsome, versus pretty or ugly. Poli and poli. I'm sure you can guess that. Polite and impolite. Here's a list of adjectives which should be useful for you in generating new sentences of your choice. Try doing this when you're revising the slides. Try making new sentences which are different from the ones we have provided here. Just as I said, adjectives in French behave just like in Hindi. They agree with the noun or pronoun, whether it is masculine or feminine or singular or plural. They agree accordingly. So please keep that in mind. The little boy. Le petit garçon. Un livre intéressant. Un chat noir sous la table. Il y a un grand arbre devant la maison. These four little sentences. Please note the words in red. They are the adjectives which are placed before the noun. Petit garçon, the small boy. Grand arbre, the big tree. The ones in blue. Livre intéressant, chat noir. Intéressant and noir are also adjectives which are placed after the noun. So both these systems exist. Now, with due practice and attentive listening and understanding, you will get to understand yourself which adjectives to place before and which ones to place after. Small little things to take note of. Before ending this section on adjectives, there's a little caution I'd like to bring to your notice. I have been insisting that the Hindi language follows the similar notion of masculine and feminine as you have in French, which is absent in English. When I said the notion of masculine and feminine also exists in Hindi, what I meant was the conceptual base is there in Hindi, where you have pulling, thrilling, for living as well as non-living objects. The same way you have masculine and feminine in French as well. But please do not interpret it as the words being feminine in Hindi are also feminine in French, and the same words being masculine in Hindi are also masculine in French. No, that's not the idea. They may definitely not be the same. Something in Hindi may be masculine, and the same word in French may be feminine. What I meant was notionally, conceptually, the idea of masculine and feminine exists in both languages. But do not try to superimpose this on that. Something in Hindi may definitely be different from what it is in French. It is only the concept which exists. The third part, culture et vie en France. You know, for the ones who might have visited France, we use a lot of abbreviations, a lot of acronyms across the country in public spaces, especially, you know, signboards, billboards, the entries, exits, parks. You have a lot of acronyms or abbreviations used here and there. So it would be a good idea to get a hold on some of them. I admit I have not been able to provide you the entire list. It would be not possible, quite. But I have tried to make a collection of some of the important ones that you're more likely to encounter during your stay there, or when you're reading up something, when you're going through some French materials, some French documents. These are abbreviations or acronyms which you may encounter. So here, let's go and look at some of the important ones. BNF, Bibliothèque Nationale de France. Bibliothèque is library. So Bibliothèque Nationale de France is the National Library of France. It's a huge, beautiful building located in the heart of Paris, and a wonderful resource center for books and documentation, media library. It's a wonderful place to go and spend the day for researchers, for students. The next is EDF. EDF, that's Électricité de France. Not much explanation required. TF1, that's not I, huh? It's one. Télévision Française 1, it's a channel. Restaurant universitaire, for the ones who have had or would have sometime a chance to go and be in a French university, could perhaps come across this sign outside a cafeteria within the institution, the university. That's the university cafeteria or restaurant. C'est RU, Restaurant Universitaire. Then you have the CDG, Roissy Charles de Gaulle. That is the name of the international airport located in Paris. That's where you land up if you land up in Paris, the international airport, named after the famed general and the president of the Fifth Republic, General de Gaulle. You might have heard it being pronounced as de Gaulle or something, but from now on, at least, you know it's de Gaulle, Charles de Gaulle. So the international airport is named after him. Roissy Charles de Gaulle, that's the airport. Next is your Alliance Française. It's the chain, international chain of French cultural centers across the world involved in French language teaching and cultural events and cultural interaction between the country and France. You have several of them located in India as well. The next one is something very relevant to us, especially our students from IGNOU. That's the CNED or CNED, Centre National d'Enseignement à Distance. That's the distance education, the National Center for Distance Education, the French National Center, that's CNED, Centre National d'Enseignement à Distance. ENS is École Normale Supérieure. This is again the ENS, the ENS. It is the chain of very elite institutions across France, specializing in various domains of studies, various disciplines, very elite institutions of higher learning. So if someone says one has studied or one is enrolled in an ENS, well, you know the person is studying at a very elite institution. ONU, Organisation des Nations Unies. This is our very own UN, United Nations, which becomes ONU in French. Organisation des Nations Unies. The UN becomes ONU in French. This is followed by TGV or TGV, Train à grande vitesse. These are high-speed, superfast trains in France. They've been there over a long number of years, crisscrossing the country as well. Some of them even going outside to Belgium and other countries from France. These are high-speed trains, superfast trains. Vitesse, the word vitesse means speed. So trains of high speed, they are the entire bunch of trains, they're called TGV, TGV. SNCF, SNCF, Société Nationale des Chemins de Fer. Société Nationale des Chemins de Fer. In simple words, this is much like our Indian railways. The national rail routes, the national railways of France is the SNCF. On a lot of trains, you would see the word SNCF mentioned, or even on the uniforms of the people employed with the SNCF, they wear uniforms with SNCF written on their clothes. SMIC is Salaire Minimum Interprofessionnel de Croissance. Well, apart from the technical bit, just understand this has to do with the minimum wage fixation levels in France. The minimum wage fixation levels, that's the SMIC. These are acronyms. So when you happen to come across any of these later, you should have a fair idea of what they mean. As I said, in public spaces, whether it be railway stations or cinema halls or malls or parks, you come across signs which you should be able to understand immediately. There are many. I have chosen only 4 of the most important ones. Entrée is entry. Sortie is exit. Arrivée, arrival. And départ is departure. Chers amis, that brings us nearly to the end of our lecture today, and gradually I believe you must be learning to speak or to even mumble to yourself a little French. Your knowledge of the French language and daily life there is taking you closer to what I call la vie en France, la culture française, la langue française. With use of adjectives, prepositions, and other grammatical rules, you must try and generate your own sentences, short phrases, and with videos attached, not only in this lecture, but in the ones previous and the ones coming ahead. You must learn to observe carefully, to listen carefully, and to reproduce in your oral as well as written expression. That's what self learning is all about, and I'm sure you all will be doing a great job here. Now that brings us to our dear third section, which is the surprise section as always. Saviez-vous? Did you know? And as we come to the final lecture today that was based on greetings and special occasions, I thought this would be a relevant bit of information to add. You must have all come across these four letters RSVP, RSVP, at the bottom of invitation cards, not only in French, in any kind of invitation card, in any language. You see at the bottom corner RSVP with the phone number or address of the sender or the host. Have you ever wondered what this means? Well, it just means répondez s'il vous plaît or reply please. That's RSVP. So from now on, when you look at that word, you know exactly that's a French acronym or French abbreviation. RSVP, RSVP, répondez s'il vous plaît. Intéressant? Oui, très intéressant. Et merci beaucoup, chers apprenants, de toute votre attention. Till we meet again, do well, revise well. Merci beaucoup. Take care.